Hi there, friends. Welcome back to episode 2 of Spaceblock. I'm Icon, and today I hope that I will be able to get a little bit further down the road. I've used the time between the last episode to grind up a couple of iron plates. I also put up a machine to multiply coals, and well, today we got to do a lot of things. So, one thing that I want to start today with is we're going to need stone, lots of that, because we might be capable of producing landfill out of automation science packs, but I figured that producing 2 packs of rat science does cost me so many resources. It's a lot easier to just craft landfill out of stone, even though producing stone will need a lot of material and time and all these things, but at the same time, I feel like it's what we would do right now. So let's see. I was wondering, shouldn't we be capable of doing this with 2 machines? Should be working. I also thought a little bit about the multiplication of items in a larger scale. So let's put this as the input, and let's put that as the output. And, well, I got a couple of ideas how to realize these things. I'm really curious to see if they'll work out or not. So we got some iron plates for this run, and I'm not sure if they will suffice for what we have to do, but I sure want to try. So let's give these machines some stone to work with, and let's see. They should output their stone here and get up the new stone from there. So basically, we should be able to do stone multiplication now. That's really good. Because I figured that landfill will be very, very important, because overall, my space here is very, very limited. And I also noticed that we are power-wise also pretty limited. So, as we see here, each of these buddies can produce 60 kilowatt during daytime. We got 20 of those, so we got a production of 1.2 megawatt. During the nighttime, of course, we drop down here in terms of production, but as you can see, we are pretty close to consuming most of the power we produce. So there's still some charge running into the accumulator, but our grid is already consuming like 90% of the produced power. And that means we really need to produce new power. So how to do this? I figured that we could either go for oil boilers, which would produce, well, if I understood that correctly, well, no, they only duplicate stuff. We can't produce energy out of that, no. So we have to go old school, boiler and steam. The thing here is, let's check out how the distributions are. Hope I can get that. So, well, it will consume 1.8 megawatt of power, and this means we will need half a unit of coal per second, roughly, per boiler. Okay. Problem here is, each of these units produces, items per second. Each of these processes produces a net gain of 0.1 coal per second. So basically, to get one boiler running, we will need 5 assemblers producing coal if we keep producing coal like that. This doesn't sound too good, honestly, but how much power will we receive out of that? 1.8 kilowatt. So, okay, 5 of these machines will definitely produce or use less power than we produce. So it is, at the end of the day, a productive chain. Okay, that's good. Because I figured that the power production is one of the most important things to begin with, because without power production, we're totally crippled here. So that's where I wanted to start. Also, I figured that I should start crafting science packs. But I don't want to craft these science packs manually. Nah, not interested. So we're going to place down one assembler just for the science packs. It's not going to be really automated or anything. As a matter of fact, I'll be just dropping in copper plates and let's see. Looks like I have to handcraft these iron gear wheels. How pesky. But yeah, you get the idea. We bootstrap our production here a little bit. And I figured that easiest way to do this would be to automate the production of the red signs. Give me a sec, can't we? Yeah, we can. So, you know, I just figured that if we actually automate the production of these red science packs, we might as well automatically dump them also into the laboratory where they are ultimately needed. I want to start to minimize the manual effort slowly but steadily. Here we go. But these dudes can now produce some signs, which is good. I want to progress here. So, these smelters are totally idle. And as you see, we're actually pretty powerful in terms of iron ore production. Things are coming along quite nicely. So let's keep producing the other ores as well. Coal production comes along nicely too. So now we got these 5 assemblers, which will produce the coals for us. That's good. So give me a sec. Technology-wise, I actually wanted to go for electronics next, because I want to produce fast inserters. There is a thing which crossed my mind, and I hope it will work out like I think it will. Okay. So here's going to be the procedure. We're going to produce coal alongside of this. Let's give me a sec. Well, this machine will go. There's sufficient room for that. Okay. So we're going to produce coals here. There we go. So coal will be output into this direction. Okay. Now, can't do this. The real big issue here is I have to do this without any bigger tools to actually manage my stuff here. We ain't got no splitters, we got no... well, maybe I should go for logistics first anyways. Because splitters and underground belts will be quite useful very soon. Okay, another thing that I wanted to do were steam engines, and hey, look at that, already out of iron again. So we're out of power. This will happen to us now more often during the nighttime, because our production chains are... We need some external source of power. We won't be making it without. Okay. So now for the tricky part, how to refeed that thing here. So... I'm out of belt again. My plan is to output that stuff here, and, well, probably exactly the other way around, yeah. Let's do this like that. Or do we? Would be better if this whole thing could end into this direction here. So So let's make it like that. Let's change the flow of this whole contraption like that. Remove this part here because we don't want a real cycle here. There we go. And this will ultimately lead to the coal plant. Okay. Now we need a couple of inserters extra. And this is something I want to ultimately fill with fast inserters because I'm afraid that this might starve because the inserters are not working fast enough. But this will now pick up coal from this side. I don't know how good this will work, but in my... I wanted to put this to a test because I figured that it actually should end up with the output being used as input again. The only thing I'm lacking now is a splitter to actually loop that back into, or put that into the onto the other side. Well, do we actually need a splitter for that? We don't. We could use it. We could also make it without a splitter, but I'm lazy. So to get that done, I'll probably do this like that. Logistics research is going to be finished any second. And as you can see here, these machines now pick up the coal they need from that belt. Okay, that's this. Let's resume here. Let's create ourselves some of these items. So I'm not sure if this is going to be a long-term solution, but it's definitely going to be a short-term solution. So here we go. This will fill up the belt with fresh coal, which we can then use to power our engines. Good stuff, isn't it? So we can now create what? That's all the landfill we can get. So we definitely need more power. We definitely need more power. Because that's quite puny, I gotta say. So these dudes, they will be living here. The boiler will be living here. Wait a sec, actually we might be better off if we put that boiler right next to this one here. I mean, heck, why not? A little bit more to the right, to the left, I mean. So here. Something like that. We're working with close quarters here. I like that. Makes things quite exciting if you don't have a lot of room to work with. Okay, so now we got the pipes. This is a very, very small scale operation, but at least it will produce power for our factory. So here we go. The only thing we're lacking now is water. That should be doable as well. Did I use all the pipe to ground thingies already? Dang it. Okay. So I'm gonna put up a sixth one of those. Just to overfeed the system a little bit. So I can extract some poles for my own other needs. There we go. Oh, we need another inserter. So this procedure will eat up a ton of material, but at the same time we will need coals like crazy, because I will be capable of duplicating these materials later just with the space meta furnaces, but these furnaces still have a consumption of coals, and therefore we will need some extra. Now let's connect that thing with water. But first, let me put these into the hotbar. Yeah, well, you know what? We're just going to fill that up with regulars. There we go. Okay, now we got power. We're producing now 1.8 megawatt permanently without any problems whatsoever. And it seems to me as if my plan is working out decently. Even if the belt runs dry on this point, the other machines back here, which can take from the belt further down the road, seem to work out. Okay, nice. So the next big thing we need is more stone. And also we need to start worrying about space matter. So we're going to need 5 chunks of space matter to bring up 1 space matter furnace. I really want that, you know. And hey, look at that. Coal overproduction can be picked up already. Okay, let's see how much of that space matter we can actually already produce. Because right now, well, 2 machines are not producing too much stone. That's the first verdict I got. And it's a bad verdict. I need more stone. So we need 1 unit more. 1 more unit of, what's it called again? Space matter for the first space matter furnace. I want to check out how these things work. I got no clue how they work, and I'm very, very curious. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Gimme. There we go. Yeah. But looks like we're doing very fine here. Quite happy about that. So let's toss these ores and the coals also down here for now. Seems like we're going to need that a little bit longer. So we had quite a production. So happy when we're done with hand feeding furnaces. It's something I really dislike to do, but we're at in the starter phase. But it looks like we're actually producing more coal than we consume right now. Super happy. So this little loop should work quite decently. Let's see how we're going to pull it off in larger scales. Because the thing is, this will be a different way of crafting. So these dudes, let's check it out. The space matter furnace can't duplicate whatever we put into there. So we pick up some quartz. And let's fuel that thing up. And now we see this thing will just duplicate the iron ore we put in there. It's pretty amazing. So these will be the way how I will produce everything in the future, except for coal, as it seems coal can only be produced in this procedure, but all the other materials we will duplicate by this method, because we will definitely get a 16% gain, 1/6, and we got a 10% chance of even acquiring more ore out of that. So pretty neat stuff, but we need to industrialize that differently. The next thing that I really think we should do though is, yeah, use that furnace, use that crazy furnace for stone replication. That's the idea. Alright, so we're also going to give this dude some autonomy here. So electronics are stuck because we ran out of materials. Let's change that. I know it's not efficient to handcraft iron gear wheels, but something's got to give. And now we do the same thing as we did before. Input and output, and we just make sure that this thing keeps working, you know. Oh, wait a sec. I did one mistake there. They aren't connected in any way. Arf. Oh, that was... Okay, this would be more complicated than I like it to be. We need to go belts and all to do this properly. But before I can do anything properly, I want those fast inserters. I'm so tired of the slow inserters, you know. They have to output so much stuff. It's not cool. But I do realize one thing. These space furnaces work really, really fast. So let's go somewhere where we can actually loop that thing properly. Easier said than done. I'm so stuck here. So, and landfill is so friggin' costly. Maybe we want to create landfill out of the other materials at the end of the day still. Maybe I'll change my stance towards that. But until then, we'll have to handcraft that. So far, I really do enjoy the start here with Spaceblock, because it's definitely a lot more challenging than I originally anticipated. Okay, so now that space matter furnace, let's see. I need some place where I got enough room to cycle that. And I have nowhere. I have that room nowhere. Too bad. Okay, so we're going to do that replication process then manually for now, because as much as I might hate it, it seems to be the only way to do it right now. Okay, coal's backing up quite nicely. That means we are overproducing. I mean, sadly I can't really check out how much coal that actually needs. Too bad. Is Helmod capable of doing that? Let's see. I mean, power production is not exactly, but maybe steam. Yeah. Let's compute that by factory, and I'm very curious to see. So yeah, my calculations weren't wrong. One boiler consumes 0.5 units of coal per second. I wasn't wrong about that. So now we're producing 0.6 per second. We're slightly overfeeding that. How much coal do we need for one of those furnaces, though? Can't read that out here either, can we? Dang. So, let's change that recipe to, say, plates. And one of those furnaces eats up 1 unit of coal. So, or 0.1. So basically, every single furnace will need one own assembler to feed him with fresh coals. That's insane. That means our automated material production will be mind-numbingly bad to begin with. Whew. That's tough luck. Or, well... Whew. But it is very clear for me that we do need lots and lots and lots of landfill. So I guess the duplication of stone in these furnaces will be the first thing that I actually want to get done here. So let's see how we can do that. This is quite painful. Because, you know, all that stone you're producing, and it's just barely enough to get a few scraps of land going here. Probably. That's all we needed. So now this would be enough for, let's see, belt-wise. So I need a belt, which is capable of... well, maybe if I move that stone array somewhere else. Maybe we can put that down somewhere else. It's just very, very important for me that we mainly automate these shenanigans, because seriously, that's way too... it's way too obnoxious to do that manually. And the assemblers are not pulling their weight when it comes down to duplication speed, you know. It's just not enough. Alright. Speaking about not enough, I'm pretty sure that it will be also not enough to plug in regular inserters into these this machinery, so let's see. Maybe I'll do it like that. I mean, power is not that terrible problem anymore. So here we go. And we're going to need yet another little splitter. I want another splitter, I'd rather say. Go. And now we are capable of at least getting the job done here, I guess. Wait a sec, these need to go this way. And let's check out the inserter load. So one of these dudes produces 0.33 per second. That's really relieving me a lot. So basic inserter-wise, we're going to need 0.8 for the input, and only that low amount for the output. Okay, so this machinery produces way faster than it, well, it can... Weird. Okay. Usually these numbers are not wrong. Anywho, this grid will now slowly saturate itself. So what are we lacking for these? So, okay. Turns out the production of space matter is now also a pretty big thing we need to take care of. But I want to do something else. Let's move these things aside as well. So I don't need the stone array anymore. What I'm going to do next is I want to put up a little landfill factory. Because I trust my machines not to deplete this completely. Fast insert attack has finished. Wonderful. Let's start researching logistics science packs. Because I'm absolutely convinced that this little measly inserter will never be capable of taking too much stone for this to break down. But it will produce a nice amount of landfill for me. So let's see. This would consume 20 stone per second. But only if I provide 24 inserters. Okay. Oh no, it looks like they are actually really not producing enough for that. Oh shoot. So we'll need 2 of those. Got it. This is way harder than I originally anticipated. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to save up my money. My space money, and I'm going to start up another space matter production. So right now I'm lacking wood, so let's do another bootstrap procedure, and then we're going to duplicate the wood, and then we're going to continue with this craziness that we are doing here. But I'm quite happy at least the power production issue is now really resolved in a very, very good way. I am actually considering dismantling the whole solar array here, because as we see here, getting the necessary materials for the landfill seems to be something which is far beyond our production capacity right now. And therefore, dismantling this big block here, I think this will help us a lot, land-wise. So, here we go. I'll keep the accumulators, though, because it doesn't cost me anything to store power in them. It's not like I would have... Well, it's not like I'm benefiting too much from that either. But, yeah. Well, you know what? We're just going to put them aside. Just figured that space is so valuable right now that I really don't want to waste that in that regard. So I'm also stopping to go for... I'm stopping to produce wooden chests now that I realized how valuable wood is. And we're now handcrafting that stuff a bit. That works out decently too. And let's put up a little stash over here. This is going to be where I'll be storing these materials until I really need them, because it's cool to have that amount of solar power. No doubt. But we don't really need it right now. Okay, so that works for now. I'm quite surprised that it hasn't backed up yet. It should back up at some point, shouldn't it? I guess so. But the most important part, I think, is now to start producing more of that space matter. That's the thing I really realized that, well, these space furnaces seem to be one of the best things that I can produce right now. Therefore, let's produce them. Also start stockpiling a couple of coals here. I'm not a big fan of big stockpiles and stacks, but since we need that coal for the space matter production, I'm quite okay with that. Okay, so next episode, my plans are quite clear. I want to amp up that stone production if possible, and I also want to amp up the coal production. So the first things that I want to produce automated in a larger scale are coal and stone. And not the iron plate production, surprisingly. But since my territory is so painfully limited, I want to change that first. Oh, speaking about changing things, I have dismantled my copper production, which is not too good in my opinion. So let's keep going. Okay, guys. So that would be everything for this episode. I think we are on a really, really good way in terms of getting our job done and getting somewhere here. But at the same time, there's still so friggin' much work to do. It's delightful. So, did I actually run out of copper ore here? Whoops. That was almost a major whoopsie. Never good if you really run out of your basic materials. Also, we need to automate the fuel intake of our furnaces. This is especially true for the space matter furnaces, so there's a lot of work to do. Ah, now it finally backed up. Awesome. So last thing we do for today's episode is we're going to put up a little stockpile of stone here so that this dude can at least pre-produce a wee bit for us. I mean, what's going to be stored in there is just enough for 5 pieces of landfill, so we really need to work on that. Probably that recipe here is way more efficient than I anticipate right now, but we'll be getting there. I got no clue yet how I want to do that, but one thing is for sure, we need more expansion. Okay, guys, so thanks for watching so far. Drop your comments down below. I hope you like what you see so far. Next episode, we're definitely going to use this territory up here and see what we can do. My biggest interest would be to automate the stone production. I think that's what I'm going to do next episode. So build a couple of assemblers and get that automated. And yeah, so leave a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed, and of course check out the channel, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and you won't miss any of my daily content popping up in the future. See you guys next time. Bye bye.